Buying a motorcycle is easy. Trusting it 3 years after the warranty runs out, that's a different question entirely. Most bikes feel fine when they're new. The dealer is helpful. Nothing's broken yet, and the coverage gives you a false sense of security. Then the warranty expires, service costs shift, and you start finding out what the machine is actually built from. This list is for riders who don't want to find out the hard way. Every bike here has been proven by real owners across real miles, long after any dealer stopped picking up the tab. If you've ever been stranded by something you thought you could trust, this is the list you needed before that happened. Honda NX 500. It may be the least flashy bike on this list. It's also the one that owners seem most reluctant to sell. The parallel twin engine is so thoroughly overbuilt that long-term owners almost run out of things to complain about. Riders report 0 mechanical failures across 35,000 to nearly 100,000 miles. Not fewer failures. 0. Oil changes every 8,000 miles. Valve checks not due until 16,000. For most riders, that's years of riding before a service manual even gets opened. What Honda has done with this platform over time is keep improving what was already working. Better suspension, torque control, a refined chassis, all carried forward into the NX 500 nameplate without breaking what made it dependable in the first place. Fuel economy sits between 60 and 70 miles per gallon. Insurance is reasonable. Parts are on shelves at nearly every Honda dealer in the country. The NX 500 isn't trying to impress anyone at a stoplight. It's trying to be running when everything else has let you down. After tens of thousands of miles, it still is. The next bike has a reputation that goes well beyond its price tag, and the ownership data backs it up. Kawasaki Ninja 400. Riders who've owned one long enough tend to use the same word: indestructible. That word gets thrown around too freely in motorcycle circles, but the long-term numbers make it hard to argue here. Power delivery is smooth and predictable. The transmission shifts cleanly. The clutch is light enough for new riders, but precise enough for experienced ones. This is an engine that never feels like it's being pushed under normal conditions, and that's exactly why it lasts. There were clutch issues on some early models, and a recall addressed alternator rotor loosening on certain machines. Both were resolved quickly. Beyond those isolated cases, the platform has been remarkably clean. Used examples sit around $4,000. Kawasaki has since moved forward with the Ninja 500, starting at $5,399 in the US and $7,199 Canadian dollars in Canada. But the Ninja 400 used market remains one of the strongest value propositions you'll find. Fuel economy regularly hits 55 to 60 miles per gallon. The Naked Z 400 shares the same mechanicals if the sport geometry isn't for you. Either way, the reliability doesn't change when the warranty expires. It was already baked in before you ever signed anything. Not every trustworthy bike is exciting. The next one is just faithful, and sometimes that's worth far more. Suzuki V-Strom 650. This bike has been doing the same thing for years, running strong, sipping fuel, and leaving owners with almost nothing to fix. 6-figure mileage on the original engine, with nothing done beyond oil changes, isn't one lucky story. It comes up consistently across ownership forms, documented ride logs, and dealer service records. The V-twin gives it a character that parallel twins don't quite match. Low-end pull, a bit of rumble, and the kind of torque that makes a loaded bike feel relaxed instead of strained. The XT version adds wire spoke wheels for riders who want more versatility on remote terrain and a wider range of tire options. Traction control and ABS come standard. Where this bike really proves itself is in the used market. Good examples are everywhere, reasonably priced, because owners eventually upgrade to larger bikes, not because the 650 let them down, but because it never gave them a reason to complain. That's the kind of legacy that actually matters when the warranty clock has already run out. This next one doesn't get nearly enough credit. It should. Kawasaki Vulcan 900. Spend 10 years with one of these, and you start to understand why long-term owners stop looking at other bikes altogether. The V-twin was tuned for low-end pull, not high-rev performance. That's a decision that ages well. The belt drive needs almost nothing beyond a visual check. Fuel injection starts reliably in freezing temperatures. No warm-up rituals required. Owners who've logged 50,000 miles report nothing replaced beyond tires, batteries, and oil. One honest criticism worth naming: the 5-speed gearbox runs slightly high in RPM above highway speeds. A 6th gear would help. It's a real gap for long interstate days, and it's fair to say so plainly. But the aftermarket has answers: windshields, luggage options, exhaust upgrades, all widely available. The Vulcan 900 doesn't demand attention or large maintenance budgets. It simply keeps going. And for a lot of riders, that quiet consistency becomes the thing they value most. The next bike carries a bloodline that goes back to desert racing. That history isn't just branding. It shows up in how the bike actually behaves. Yamaha Tenere 700. This isn't a machine that tries to win you over with a spec sheet. It earns trust by being exactly what it claims to be. Nothing more, nothing less. The engine came directly from the MT-07, a platform with years of proven street reliability, before Yamaha placed it inside an adventure chassis. The result is strong mid-range torque that works equally on fire roads and highways. The suspension is genuine off-road spec, not a dressed-up street setup wearing knobby tires. Ground clearance is real. The 21-inch front wheel meets the standard that serious trail riding actually requires. The honest criticisms: the stock seat gets uncomfortable on long highway days, and the fuel tank limits range on remote routes. Both are fixable through aftermarket parts without much cost. At around $10,999, this bike undercuts competitors charging $3,000 to $5,000 more for similar capability. Riders who've owned one past the warranty period tend to say the same thing. They stopped looking for something better because the Ténéré kept making the question irrelevant. Halfway through this list, and the pattern is clear. The next bike fits it perfectly, and comes at a price that's hard to walk away from. Honda XL750 Transalp. The first thing most riders notice after a few months of ownership isn't the performance. It's how little the bike asks of them in return. The parallel twin uses a crankshaft configuration that gives it the torque feel of a V-twin while staying compact and light. At 459 pounds, it's lighter than most full-sized adventure bikes in its class. The mid-range power delivery is strong and smooth, which is where real-world riding actually lives, not at the top of the rev range. 5 riding modes cover everything from wet pavement to gravel. The rear ABS can be switched off for technical off-road work. At $9,999 MSRP in the US, the Transalp competes directly with bikes costing thousands more. The engine is newer, so it doesn't carry decades of documented mileage the way older platforms do. That's a fair observation. But Honda's engineering philosophy on this chassis follows a track record that earns the benefit of the doubt. First-year owners are reporting strong, trouble-free results. The longer that continues, the more the post-warranty question starts answering itself. Some bikes on this list proved themselves on the highway. The next one earned its reputation somewhere far more unforgiving: Kawasaki KLR 650. There is nothing impressive about this bike on paper, and that's almost the entire point. Riders have taken this motorcycle across the Transamerica Trail, through the Alcan Highway, and deep into stretches of South America where the nearest dealer is hundreds of miles away. Not once, repeatedly, and it showed up every time. That kind of reputation doesn't come from a brochure. It comes from years of riders betting their trip on it and winning. The 6.1-gallon tank gives close to 300 miles of range. That number isn't about convenience. It's about survival when gas stations are 200 miles apart. The 2022 model added fuel injection and optional ABS without changing what the bike fundamentally is. Pre-2008 models need a balancer chain tensioner upgrade. $200, a few hours. Done once, the concern is gone. It vibrates at speed. The seat needs replacing for long days. The gearbox isn't refined. These are real complaints, and they're worth saying plainly. But riders who've put 100,000 miles on a KLR aren't doing it despite those things. They're doing it because the bike never stopped. That's a kind of trust that can't be manufactured, and it only deepens after the warranty is long gone. After the KLR's raw honesty, the next bike is a different kind of surprise. Nobody expected it to be a long-distance weapon, but owners figured it out. Suzuki Hayabusa. Most people see this bike and think about speed. Long-term owners think about something else: how surprisingly easy it is to spend a full day riding one. The engine was built to be the fastest in the world. What nobody anticipated was how that same engineering would translate to relaxed, vibration-free highway cruising. At highway speeds, the motor is barely working. The suspension absorbs road imperfections smoothly. Riders regularly log 400-mile days without significant fatigue. The seat is wide and padded. You can shift your weight. Cruise control is standard. The electronics are sophisticated. Traction control, anti-lift, customizable drive modes. The kind of package that keeps you confident over thousands of miles, not just a weekend ride. Insurance costs more. Maintenance runs higher. Everything on this machine operates at a higher threshold, and that shows in the bills. That's worth knowing before you buy. But the engine's long-term durability is well documented. For a motorcycle of this capability, that reliability is genuinely the last thing most people see coming. It's what owners discover after they've lived with one long enough to know. The next bike was designed for long distance from the beginning, and it still does it better than almost anything else at its price. Yamaha FJR1300. There are riders who've covered 500 miles in a single day on this machine and arrived wanting to keep going. That's not luck. That's engineering with a clear purpose. Yamaha built this platform around one idea: that serious distance shouldn't cost the rider their body. The seat is the first thing long-term owners mention, adjustable in height and position, calibrated for hours of use, not just the first 30 minutes. The fairing provides wind protection that genuinely works, not just looks like it should. Integrated luggage, a center stand, and strong electrical capacity for heated gear make this a practical touring machine, not a dressed-up sport bike. It's not the newest platform, and it doesn't carry the latest electronics. What it carries is a mechanical foundation that's mature, fully understood, and proven across hundreds of thousands of real miles. There are no surprises waiting after the warranty ends. Riders who've owned one know this. That's why so few of them ever end up listed for sale. And then there's the last bike on this list. Everything before it has been impressive. This one is in a different category. Honda Goldwing. There is no other motorcycle built like this. Spend a full day riding one, and that becomes impossible to argue with. The flat 6 engine eliminates vibration entirely, not reduces it, eliminates it. The motor runs quietly, generates minimal heat, and the low center of gravity makes the bike feel more composed than its 845 to 856 pound curb weight has any right to suggest. The double wishbone front suspension, borrowed from automotive engineering, absorbs road imperfections that conventional forks simply can't manage. The rear suspension on tour models adjusts electronically for load or passenger weight. The windscreen adjusts across nearly 5 inches of range with memory settings. Full bodywork keeps you dry in rain that would soak you on any other motorcycle on this list. Riders regularly log 200,000-mile odometers, not as an achievement, but as a routine outcome. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Cruise Control, and Hill Start Assist come standard. The Goldwing Tour Airbag Automatic DCT trim adds a front airbag system for riders who want that additional layer of protection on serious long-distance work. The trunk holds 61 liters without argument. There is no honest alternative for riders who want to cover 1,000 miles a week and feel nothing worse than pleasantly tired. The Goldwing doesn't just survive the post-warranty years. It makes the whole concept of a warranty feel like a footnote. Every bike on this list has something that no service agreement can replicate. Warranty coverage ends on a fixed date. Real trust doesn't work that way. It builds. Every cold start, every mile past 50,000, every time the engine turns over without asking for anything. That's what this list is actually about. The bikes that earn it don't just keep running. They make you stop worrying about whether they will